Exciting times in the Premier League as the battle nears the finish line. Let's take it up from here, shall we? We all know what happened to Unai Emery when he went to Arsenal. Was that kind of like one in the eye for him? He basically delivered a tactical masterclass to Arteta, didn't he? He did, and I was speaking to Emi Martinez at the beginning of the season, and he said he's a tactical genius. He really did. I don't know why, sometimes managers, players alike, it doesn't happen for them at the club that they go to. Because Unai Emery, everywhere he's been, has been great. Maybe Arsenal could have kept him for a little bit longer, who knows? I mean, Arsenal have a tremendous manager now in Arteta that's really built the club up. And it looks like Unai Emery's found a home, and from my Villa days, I'm very happy he's there. You wouldn't want to hear any rumours or anything about him leaving, particularly if Erik ten Hag potentially goes in summer. Might he be interested in a club like Manchester United if he was offered? I don't know him personally, so I don't know if he would be interested personally in something like that. But I would think any big job that comes open, he will be one of the names on the list. I would agree with that. Let's talk about Arsenal then. How important does that game against Bayern Munich now look in terms of their season? They have to get the victory, don't they? They do. They really do. Losing at home to Villa, having Manchester City leapfrog them, that's a mental blow, and they're going to have to recover quickly against Bayern Munich. Bayern Munich have just lost the Bundesliga by a landslide, which is unheard of. So Bayern Munich themselves have to go and try to lift the trophy this season because they've missed out. And I know it's well documented in the UK because Harry Kane's there, that they need to go and try to lift the trophy. So they're going to put everything into this game. This will be a hard game, but yes, mentally, going into the last games of the Premier League season, they need to get back on track quickly because your confidence can quickly zap out of you when Man City keeps winning. Yeah, we'll talk about them right now, really, but in terms of Arsenal, I went to the club on Friday and it felt like there was a real positivity in the camp. I spoke to Leandro Trossard and he said, I feel we can win every single game now.
The fact that they haven't, the fact that they've lost one, and we know what happened last season, do you think that could really put them off course, shall we say?
Well, I fully understand why they would have been full of confidence. They should have been. They played a very good first half, even a chance Saka cut in, and he missed just narrowly to Martinez's right-hand side. I mean, this will be a blow, and yes, memories of last season could creep in. So the next game against Wolves, it's good that another game comes straight away, so they can get back on the field, and if they win it, then you can see the confidence come back in and they can go on another run and hopefully at least make us wait until the last kick of the game on the last day of the season on who the champion's going to be. Which is what we all want, particularly as neutrals. Some of us not so neutral, might I say. Look, Manchester City, you mentioned, they are horrible, aren't they, to play against because they just know how to do it. This juggernaut that they do every single season, they're like a horse, aren't they? They come good at the last hurdle. You may say horrible, but they are wonderful to watch. They are. If you're a football purist, even if I grew up a Man UTD supporter, which I did not, you would have to respect what they do. De Bruyne comes out, Foden comes in and controls the game. If both of them are on the field, they're virtually unstoppable going forward. Kyle Walker gets injured, and there's a replacement for him. Rodri says he's tired, there's a replacement for him. Ederson, one of the finest goalkeepers around, is out, and they bring in Ortega, and he's doing a great job. They just have a great squad. The man management, when you have all these players that are very good, that's not an easy thing to do. I know people can talk about Pep's tactics and Pep's this and Pep's that. Keeping those players, you're not going to keep them all happy, that's for sure, but keeping them all focused and to the level that they can play is a remarkable thing to do. Yeah, it's funny, isn't it? We almost take for granted what they've done.
This double treble is still on. If you step back a bit, just in case anyone couldn't see the run-in, how do you see it playing out? Let's talk about City. Do you see them losing any of these games? You look at Tottenham, they don't have a great record against Tottenham. Especially out away from home. They were woeful at the weekend. High possession team, they play a high line, they do concede a lot of chances. It looks like the easiest run-in for all three, but the one I look at is that one. I think Pep Guardiola will be looking at that one. You see Chelsea will be a hard game, Tottenham's going to be a hard game, Man United's going to be a hard game. Depending on what happens with Everton, that could be a really difficult game in the last game of the season. You look at a Merseyside derby, it's going to be difficult. Tottenham's going to be difficult, West Ham's not easy. Aston Villa is a very good team. This is a tough run-in. They have the easiest on paper, but the Premier League's not on paper. Some surprises can happen and creep up. You mentioned your team there. They're involved in the run-in. Are they going to get?
It may go down to 5 places now in terms of the Champions League, but you'd put Aston Villa in the role to get the Champions League. After this weekend, sure, but a couple of weeks ago, maybe 10 days ago, it was Tottenham's advantage. Then they go and they lose 4-0, and Aston Villa have an incredible result at Arsenal. That can switch again next week. These teams are all very, very good. Ange Postecoglou's going to play the same way. They usually create enough chances, and if they score at the right time, then they can get their result. But they do, of all the teams at the top, they concede the most chances. They're also so fun to watch. They really are. Maybe some supporters would like it to be a little bit more tight at the back. Maybe not, because they also had the years where they were playing very defensively. But these games are so fun to watch now. If you look at the way Man City plays, the way Arsenal plays, the way Villa plays, the way Tottenham plays, the way Liverpool plays, it's all attacking. It's all high pressing. It may go down to 5 places now in terms of the Champions League, but you'd put Aston Villa in the role to get the Champions League. After this weekend, sure, but a couple of weeks ago, maybe 10 days ago, it was Tottenham's advantage. Then they go and they lose 4-0, and Aston Villa have an incredible result at Arsenal. That can switch again next week. These teams are all very, very good. Ange Postecoglou's going to play the same way. They usually create enough chances, and if they score at the right time, then they can get their result. But they do, of all the teams at the top, they concede the most chances. They're also so fun to watch. They really are. Maybe some supporters would like it to be a little bit more tight at the back. Maybe not, because they also had the years where they were playing very defensively. But these games are so fun to watch now. If you look at the way Man City plays, the way Arsenal plays, the way Villa plays, the way Tottenham plays, the way Liverpool plays, it's all attacking. It's all high pressing. It's really, really fun to watch.